Ivy by Taylor Swift. Today I'm looking at the track Ivy from Taylor Swift's 2020 Evermore album. And with this song, we're definitely getting into historical novel kind of mode. This is very much a quill pen song from Taylor. In fact, in her speech where she talks about the different styles of lyric writing that she does, this is a song that she chooses to illustrate that point. It's a song that works on several levels, and it might take us a little bit of time to work through it. So let's jump into Ivy by Taylor Swift.
How's one to know? I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones in a faith forgotten land.
So we need to stop immediately there. How's one to know? I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones in a faith forgotten land. How's one to know is a kind of plaintive philosophical appeal, if you like. How's one to know? We live in a world of uncertainties. Whatever we do, we need to take risks. How's one to know how it turns out? How's one to know what to do? How's one to know what's the right thing? All of those existential questions, I think, are encapsulated in those opening words. How's one to know? I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones. Now, this expression here, where the spirit meets the bones, Taylor's borrowed this from an American poet by the name of Miller Williams. He published a poem in 1997 called Compassion, where he uses these words. And I think Taylor probably knows this from an album that Lucinda Williams put out in 2014. Lucinda Williams is the daughter of Miller Williams. And in 2014, she put out an album in which she turned some of her father's poems into songs. And one of the poems that she chose was Compassion, from which this line comes. And she called the album Where the Spirit Meets the Bones. So I'm pretty sure that that's where Taylor has come across this phrase. To me, this invokes the innermost being of a person, where the physical and the spiritual connect, where life comes into the physical, where you have that kind of transition between not alive on this side and alive on this side. That's where the spirit meets the bones. Somehow it's spirit and bones connecting, or spirit and the earth connecting in some way to create this thing that we call life. So I think that's probably the primary reference here. I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones, in the innermost part of the human being, where life has its roots. But there's also possibly another meaning that some people highlight here, and I think there's some justification for this because of what comes later in the song. And that is that she's referring here also to a physical place, namely a cemetery, where the spirit meets the bones. Certainly it's a place where you will find bones, and there's some suggestion that perhaps this is a clandestine meeting between two lovers. That's essentially what the song is about. It's about an illicit love affair, which Taylor's written about several times before. This one, though, is presented almost in the form of an historical novel. I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones, in a faith-forgotten land. Now, I think one of the things that Taylor does in this song in particular is that she uses expressions which ostensibly speak about the outside world, the exterior world, about the landscape, about the world around her, but which reflect a deeper inner meaning. So that's why when she talks about the spirit meeting the bones, she's talking about that inner reality, but also the external reality of where they meet. And when she says in a faith-forgotten land, I think, again, perhaps a cemetery can be seen as that. It's a kind of desolate place where hope is gone, but it's also an inner state. This is describing the protagonist's inner state, a faith-forgotten land. She's lost faith. She's lost faith in life. She's lost faith in her marital relationship.
How's one to know? I'd meet you where the spirit meets the bones in a faith forgotten land. In from the snow, your touch brought forth an incandescent glow, tarnished but so grand.
It's worth noting that this once again is a song where Taylor just jumps straight into the story. There's maybe one or two notes before she starts singing. I think this illustrates how important the lyrics are for most of Taylor Swift's songs, really. She wants to get right into it, right into the story. So they're going into some kind of warm, cozy place out of the snow, out of the cold. It's winter out there. And this again is the inner life reflecting the outer world. Just as it's winter on the outside, it's winter inside her too. But they find this cozy place out of the snow where they can meet. Your touch brought forth an incandescent glow. Incandescent refers to a particular kind of light. I'm using here a halogen style light. The old light globes are incandescent. They're a hot wire and they give off a softer yellowish kind of light. So I think there's a softness about the glow that he evokes from her. He brings this glow from her. He makes her glow. But at the same time, she recognizes that this is tarnished. It's grand, but tarnished. Or she puts it the other way around, tarnished, but so grand. So despite its tarnish, it's still grand. It's still something she wants. And this is something that Taylor seems to struggle with in her relationships, perhaps certainly she writes about it in her songs, this struggle between strong feelings that will drive her towards something, to do something. Let's think in terms of the protagonist of this song in this case. She has these strong feelings. She's drawn like a moth to the flame, but at the same time she knows this is tarnished. We're talking about a married woman here who is having an affair with someone. So she recognizes that this is tarnished, but she can't resist that pull. It's so grand. It feels so good. And especially in her barren inner landscape, which is reflected in the barren outer landscape of the cemetery and of the snow-covered land.
In from the snow, your touch brought forth an incandescent glow, tarnished but so grand. And the old widow goes to the stone every day, but I don't. I just sit here and wait, grieving for the living.
This is why I think where the spirit meets the bones earlier may also refer to a cemetery, because here Taylor gives us the image of an old widow who goes to visit the stone, the gravestone, every day. Her husband's dead, probably for a long time, but she goes to visit that stone every day. And while, of course, there's a sense in which that's to honour and respect the person, for the protagonist of this song, it also indicates that the widow is actually free. She can go to a place, see where her dead husband lies, know that it's over, and there's really a finality about that represented in the stone, in the graveyard. That relationship is over. But she, on the other hand, the protagonist, just waits and sits there grieving for the living. Her relationship, as she sees it anyway, her relationship is dead. The love between her and her husband is dead, but she doesn't have the luxury of going to a gravestone and seeing concrete evidence of that. She's just sitting there waiting. And I guess this also tells us something about the life of this person, that there's a dullness about their life, which is why the incandescent glow is so important. She's just sitting there and waiting. That's what her life consists of. She doesn't know it, perhaps, or won't admit it openly to herself, but what she's waiting for is the incandescent glow. In the meantime, all she can do is grieve the relationship in secret, in private. She can't go to the cemetery to see the gravestone.
And the old widow goes to the stone every day, but I don't, I just sit here and wait, grieving for the living. Oh, goddamn, my pain fits in the palm of your freezing hand, taking mine, but it's been promised to another. Oh, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland, my house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered in you.
Oh God damn is basically just an outpouring of emotion. Oh God damn. It's an expression of her pain. My pain fits in the palm of your freezing hand. Freezing hand takes us back to the snowy winter images. He takes her hand in his. Her pain fits in the palm of his hand. He takes her pain and holds it for her. I guess freezing hand, she could have said, my pain fits in the palm of your warm hand, but she says freezing hand. So even in the midst of this, developing relationship of whatever kind, even amidst this incandescent glow, a glow which gives off heat, there's still that hint of cold, a freezing hand. There's still the reminder that it's cold out there. And then she says, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland. Again, she's presenting us here with a sense of helplessness. The protagonist in this story feels helpless. They can't prevent this from happening. That's their sense anyway. That this other person, this other lover, is putting roots down in her dreamland. So he's fulfilling her dreams and taking root there. Then next to in my dreamland, she puts my house of stone. So again, I think we're being given a contrast here, a reminder that even though this is fulfilling her dreams, she's still trapped in some way in a house of stone. I think the hardness, the cold, the loneliness, the negative aspects don't quite go away. He puts his roots down in her dreamland, my house of stone. And then your ivy grows, and now I'm covered in you. I think there's probably some sexual imagery here in the sense of him covering her. In the biblical stories of Jesus' birth, I think, if I remember correctly, it talks about the Holy Spirit coming upon Mary and covering her. And I have the same sense here, that he covers her in that way. And she describes him as ivy growing all over her. So in some way he covers her, but beneath that, she remains a house of stone. This vegetative imagery here reminds me of the lakes from folklore, where she talks about wisteria growing over her feet. Has this same sense, this sense of something taking root around her and growing around her. In this case, it's the lover.
Oh, goddamn, my pain fits in the palm of your freezing hand, taking mine, but it's been promised to another. Oh, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland, my house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered in you. what's only yours.
In this particular verse, Taylor flips the pronouns around quite a bit, and I'm not sure I fully understand what she's doing here, but let's take a look. I wish to know the fatal flaw that makes you long to be magnificently cursed. I think the you here is a general you, like one. What makes one long to be magnificently cursed? So the fatal flaw that makes you long to be magnificently cursed. She senses something in herself, and she's suggesting that it's something in all human beings, something that makes us susceptible to these damaging, harmful situations. We go into these situations that we know are going to hurt us, but we can't seem to resist it. We long to be magnificently cursed. I like the way Taylor does this. She does this also in the Bolter, which I talked about last time, when she says splendidly selfish, charmingly helpless. She puts together the two words that wouldn't normally fit together. Magnificently cursed. This is the double nature of this experience, that it's a curse, but at the same time, it's magnificent and irresistible. Then she says, he's in the room, your opal eyes are all I wish to see. He wants only what's yours. I think I get it now. I think I get what she's doing with the pronouns. It just came to me. I think he's in the room refers to her husband. She's at home at this moment. She's thinking about this other relationship, this other man. But he's in the room. Your opal eyes are all I wish to see. So she's speaking to her lover in her mind here. Your opal eyes are all I wish to see. He, the husband, wants what's only yours. The husband wants her, but she belongs to the lover. I think that's what's happening here. Took me a while to get it, but I think I got there. This is beautiful lyricism again, painting a beautiful picture. You can visualize this scene. She's sitting in their home, waiting as she does, thinking about her lover. He's in the room, though, while all she wants is to see her lover's eyes. Beautiful.
I wish to know the fatal flaw that makes you long to be magnificently cursed. He's in the room, your opal eyes are all I wish to see. He wants what's only yours. Oh, goddamn, my pain fits in the palm of your freezing hand. Taking mine, but it's been promised to another. Oh, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland. My house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered. Clover blooms in the fields, spring breaks loose, the time is near. What would he do if he found us out? Crescent moon, coast is clear, spring breaks loose, but so does fear. He's gonna burn this house to the ground.
So now we're getting the idea that winter's past, spring is here. But again, I think this has a dual reference both to the external world, to what's happening in the seasons, but also to what's happening within her. Her emotional state reflects the outer world. We start in winter, but now we're in spring. Clover blooms, spring breaks loose. The time is near. Perhaps she's thinking here of the coming summer, the kind of climax of the seasons, if you like. I'm not entirely sure. But then she asks the questions that worry her. What would he do if he found us out? Of course, there's that fear all the time. So they're meeting in secret. Under the crescent moon, the coast is clear. Spring breaks loose, but so does fear. You can't help thinking also, though, that the fear is a spice, that it spices up the relationship. Part of the thrill of the relationship is the fear that it generates. Nevertheless, the fear is real. He's going to burn this house to the ground. This house here, I guess, referring to the relationship, but also she's described herself as a house of stone. So she perceives the threat that her husband poses should he find out what's been going on.
Clover blooms in the fields, spring breaks loose, the time is near. What would he do if he found us out? Crescent moon, coast is clear, spring breaks loose, but so does fear. He's gonna burn this house to the ground. House one to know, I'd live and die for moments that we stole, unbegged and borrowed time. So tell me to run, or dare to sit and watch what will become, and drink my husband's wine.
Oh, what a dangerous game she's playing here. How's one to know? She asks again. I get the sense this time, though, that somewhere within her she does actually know. I think that's coming out in the other lyrics of the song. She knows that what they're doing is probably unacceptable apart from being dangerous. But here we go again. I'd live and die for moments that we stole on begged and borrowed time. That she's always expressing this willingness to pay the price. She longs for this experience. The protagonist does, and maybe at some level Taylor does too. She's enticed by this idea of a loveless marriage in which a woman finds life in a lover who blooms in the glow of a lover. I think she's somewhat entranced by this idea while also recognizing the dangers of it, as she expresses so clearly in illicit affairs. She does to some extent here too, but here the sense of excitement, the sense of magic, the sense of new life seems to be dominating her thoughts. I'd live and die for moments that we stole. And so now she speaks to her lover again, and I have an image in my mind here of them sitting in her home when the husband is away. So tell me to run, or dare to sit and watch what will become, and drink my husband's wine. So, lover, you can tell me to run. You can set me free and tell me to run away, tell me to leave this relationship behind, or you can dare to sit here with me now and watch what happens, watch what we'll become, watch what we turn into, and drink my husband's wine. Of course, I think here, while again it's probably literally describing an external scene of him sitting with her drinking wine that belongs to the husband, of course it also represents something else. She is the wine. He is drinking of her. So she's almost challenging the lover here, challenging him to take the dare, to dare to sit and watch what they'll become.
How's one to know? I'd live and die for moments that we stole, unbegged and borrowed time. So tell me to run, or dare to sit and watch what will become, and drink my husband's wine. Oh, goddamn, my pain fits in the palm of your freezing hand, taking mine, but it's been promised to another. Oh, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland. My house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered in you, and I'm covered in you. So yeah, it's a fire, it's a goddamn blaze in the dark, and you started it, you started it. So yeah, it's a war, it's the goddamn fight of my life, and you started it, you started it.
There's a passion and almost an element of anger in the way she delivers the lines in this next part. Whether it's another verse, a bridge, I don't know. So yeah, it's a fire. It's a goddamn blaze in the dark. She has that passion in her voice. Of course, a fire is something that warms, a fire is something that gives light, but a fire is also something that burns. And she's also acknowledged that her husband may burn down this house. Well, it's already a fire, it's a blaze in the dark. And you, she says to her lover, you started it. She says it twice. She wants to make that point, and you started it. You started it. Yeah, it's a war. It's the goddamn fight of my life. Such strong language and delivered in such a passionate way. But now she's in it. She's in this fire. She's in this fight, and she wants to carry this fight to the end. You can feel that in the way she's delivering these lines. I think part of her also may be afraid, though, that the lover is going to tell her to run. In other words, that he's going to tell her to end this. But she's committed to this and she wants this.
So yeah, it's a fire, it's a goddamn blaze in the dark, and you started it, you started it. So yeah, it's a war, it's the goddamn fight of my life, and you started it. Oh, I can't stop you putting roots in my dreamland, my house of stone, your ivy grows, and now I'm covered in now I'm covered in
So there we have Ivy from the Evermore album. She's tapping here into a long literary tradition of writing about love affairs, doomed love affairs. Anna Karenina, there are endless stories about love affairs. There's something that deeply attracts Taylor about this, I think, this experience. And there's always the contrast between what's safe and secure. It may be dull and boring, the marital relationship, but it has that safety and security. But on the other hand, there's the passion, the fire, the danger that comes with the love affair. And she's strongly attracted to that, or you get the sense that she is. She recognizes the danger of it, but she's also drawn by its appeal. She likes this idea of the passion, the fire, the danger, I think. She's drawn to that. And maybe all of us are, to some extent. Extramarital affairs are hardly a rare phenomenon. There's something about them. There's something about stepping outside the safety of the marital relationship or the stable relationship into something more dangerous, something more passionate that seems to us to bring us to life. And that's what she's expressing in this song. This is the fight of her life. But of course, there's also the other side of it, which she writes about very movingly in Illicit Affairs. And perhaps that's a song I should take a look at as well.